Greetings, Space for Wrestling fans. I am Dr. The Wife, and here we have a special 4 for 4 where we ask 4 questions from 4 non-wrestling categories. The guest is welcome to share as much or as little as they desire. If you like these kinds of content, then please don't forget to hit the subscribe and the bell, and you'll see more 4 for 4s coming your way. Today, we have an extra special 4 for 4. Our guest is well-known, well-traveled, very knowledgeable, and very skillful. Ace Steel. How are you doing?
I'm great. Did you say Doctor the Wife?
Yes, I am.
You're an evil villain in something?
I am glad you caught that. Yes.
Doctor the Wife.
Doctor the Wife. Yes. That's why we do it. We got to make sure we keep color in our lives. Yeah. All right. So we have 4 categories for you. They're all non-wrestling categories, so we hope you have a lot of fun with this one. All right.
Let's do it.
All right, fantastic. So, top 4 things you like to do as a hobby.
As a hobby, well, I love my animals. So I have 2 dogs. I have Rupert and Harley, and one of the things I love to do is just play with them and hang out with them. So that's like number 1. Number 2, that would be hang out with my wife and the dogs. So like she's added into that. Like, and then I already got heat with her because I already brought the dogs up first and her second. Expect the comments to be I stink. Number 3, I love having a good meal.
Okay.
I've been promised a great one by Mr. Magic Don Juan, the dancing extraordinaire that he is. So I'm hoping that this continues the good meal streak that I've been having since being in San Antonio. So I love to eat. I love to go places and eat. I love to go out to eat, actually. Okay. So this qualifies as out to eat because I'm not at home. It's just something I've always liked to do, like to have a nice meal on an afternoon. I live in Orlando, Florida now. So I love, outdoor restaurants or something like a bar setting that has an outdoor setting. So I love just being outside, enjoying the weather, maybe not as hot as it is now, but, when a nice breeze flowing through and having a nice meal. And the 4th thing, I do enjoy watching, a good movie or something, good content. This was probably just my age talking, I've always enjoyed that though, going to see a good movie. But nowadays we have so many things that we can watch at home and enjoying like a good story or good television shows, things like that. Okay. So yeah, kind of boring, but I know, I work out because it's part of my life. So that's not really, I don't know if you call that a hobby anymore. That's just a part of my lifestyle. So yeah, those are.
Then I have to ask, what genres are your favorite?
Oh man, I'm all over the map. Like it depends if there's something great in the genre. Like actually, I was just asked about watching any Tarantino movies, and I love a lot of Tarantino movies, and it's subject to just how I'm feeling that day. Like my wife doesn't like to watch a lot of killing in movies, so I have to go on my own and watch those myself. But I get caught up in stuff like I'll watch a lot of spy flicks. Okay. There's a lot of espionage. Mm-hmm. Like I'm into stuff like that. Some very smart writing and smart dialogue. There's a show called The Diplomat that's on Netflix. It's a series on there, and I'm a fan of Kerry Russell. I love the dialogue. I love the dynamic they have going on there. Nothing really special has happened now when they hit the end of the season, like finally something really sped up, or got to watch Yellowstone. I'm into something like that. Like that really picked up, and and I binged it. So I get to that point where like I need more. So yeah, good stuff.
Fantastic. All right, next one. Top 4 places you love to eat.
So we will take this to. I just was in Chicago the week prior. My favorite things in Chicago to eat. The best representation for me of Chicago food is Portillo's. Okay. And Portillo's has, again, the best representation of Chicago food. On my deathbed, it's an Italian beef sandwich. Do you want one thing to eat? It's an Italian beef sandwich dipped, which means in my day when I was young, they call it, I want a beef, a little juicy. And that sounds a little wacky nowadays to say that. Like, give it to me juicy. Well, now they call it dipped. Would you like it dipped, fully dipped, half dipped, whatever? No, I need it dipped because the bread they have, the French rolls, and you have to have a specific French roll. And now you're going to see me like you could dub in like little hearts in my eyes and birds flying over my head. Like, oh, the Italian beef sandwich. Like it's got to be. When I grew up around Chicago, a lot of neighborhood places had Italian beef sandwiches, right? But they weren't all good. They look like it, might kind of smell like it, but the minute I took a bite out of it, I'd grab ketchup and squeeze ketchup over it. So like this is like, I'm not going to waste the food, but it's not what I was looking for. Yes. Portillo's has a great Italian beef sandwich. They have your Chicago hot dog, which some people call the salad dog. They have great Maxwell Street Polish sausages.
Okay.
Like the way they are cooked all the way around, they're just phenomenal with onions and mustard. And oh man, oh so good. They have a great dessert. They have a chocolate eclair cake there. Like it's good stuff. Which that'll maybe play into another question. But so Portillo's is one. I was talking. Excuse me. I was talking about pizza tonight. Chicago style pizza. Everybody thinks, and here's the big pizza debate. Since you're from New Jersey, Marty Bell thinks Marty Bell of Marty Bell. Yeah, well, her New York pizza, right there.
Ooh.
Yeah, how about it? Challenge, lady.
Oh, I can't wait to see that challenge.
Well, look, pizza's pizza. I love pizza. I love pizza, but I am kind of a pizza snob. But Chicago pizza, I like a thin crust, actually. It's just the sauce. I'm not so much about the deep dish. Again, when I grew up, we called it stuffed pizza. I'll take a stuffed. It's a lot of sauce. It's, it's like lasagna in front of you. You can only have like a piece or two, but I like a thin crust with Italian sausage. There's a couple of chains in Orlando, actually, that are Chicago chains that I've actually eaten from Chicago. So they're just a little bit expensive for the pizza, but my favorite pizza in Chicago right now is called Pequod's. Pequod's has their version of deep dish. It's not as thick, and they cook it in the oven, and it takes about a half hour, but it has a caramelized crust on it. Ooh. So good. Oh, yes. Very good for business. Third place to eat. I'll jump back to, and I love Mexican food.
Okay.
So I don't have an exact favorite place for Mexican food, but I just love Mexican food in general. My wife is Mexican, so she just calls it food. And, but I love, carne asada tacos. So if I don't make them myself, I'll, we look for just a great, just kind of like a street taco feel, like carne asada tacos. And I'm big on a good cheeseburger.
Okay.
This is my diet. This is one day some doctor's going to say you need to cut all of that out.
And wag his finger at you.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Well, when the finger wagging starts happening, then we'll worry about that. But, and I talk about it like it's in my diet. Like I might have one serving of this throughout the week, like a cheeseburger, a piece of pizza. Like, Friday, Saturday is always a pizza night for me. You're home. You're going to watch a movie. You're going to watch some wrestling. Comfort food for sure. So, but no, those are my picks. So a good cheeseburger from somewhere, and again, like I like a good burger. If I don't make it myself, I don't have an exact place. Like I'll do a Five Guys. I'll do a Five Guys for a really good burger.
Is the burger gonna be dipped?
No, do not dip my burger. But I have grilled onions on my burger. Okay. I love grilled onions. I'm a grilled onions fan. Something like that. So yeah.
All right, you are well-traveled. You've been all over. What are your top 4 travel tips?
Number 1, TSA pre-screen. Pay the money. Pay the money. Trust me, I've been the person that's been in that cattle call so much. And you're in the regular line, and when you're in the pre-screen, you feel like you are royalty.
I've been so lazy about that.
It's worth the money. It's $85, however long it takes to get it. But when you are able to walk through, and man, you still got to clear your pockets, but I don't have to take my hat off. I don't have to take my jacket or shoes off. I'm conscious about what I have and, in my bag and stuff like that. But I mean, I just zip everything up. I take out my ID, all that stuff, shove the phone in there, and we are through TSA Pre. Even if they say we got to look at your bag because something came up funny. Great. I've already walked through by the time, people just move a little bit in the line. So TSA Pre is a great one. Just knowing when you're traveling that my biggest travel tip is I have my boarding pass ready on the phone and I have my ID ready, and I'll even prep for that. Even my trip here, I just got back from Chicago last week, so I had to go through O'Hare Airport, which could be a madhouse, right? But coming to San Antonio the night before, I was all packed up, ready to go, except for just a couple of things to shove in a backpack. I took my ID out, laid it next to my bag, put my wallet away, zipped it up because I just needed my ID. And, of course, I had my phone. So, again, everything was wrapped up in a nice kit and caboodle, walked right through. Yeah. So that's number 2. Number 3, have a little bit of cash on hand.
Okay.
Because you always, just even if it's just $20, because you never know. Some system might be down. Everything takes cards, so they're like, oh, no cash. But I've run into situations lately, like in Louisville around on Memorial Day weekend. My wife and I went to eat at a very nice hotel, and we had a great waitress. Actually, she was the bartender.
Okay.
We went in for breakfast. Place was flanked with people everywhere. It opened at 11. We sat down at the breakfast bar. We sat down at the bar proper, but ate breakfast. This girl was phenomenal, very personable, very funny. Then all of a sudden, she was up in arms. She's like, "Well, our systems are all down." So I looked at her, and she gave us such great service, and I believe in tipping, and especially if it's great service. And she's like, "Well, it's on the house." And I'm like, "I can't do that. I can't." She's like, I can't. No, we pulled our money together and made sure we had enough to like pay for the meal and tip her. Like, even if I had to walk to an ATM, I would have done it. So carry a little cash on you. Just be conscious of what you pack.
Okay.
Sometimes I've overpacked, sometimes I've underpacked, but make sure you just have enough. Rolling your clothes up. I've had to learn the hard way. I've folded. I've tried to smash stuffs together. Also, think about where you're going if you're going to acquire some souvenirs.
Yes.
I acquire T-shirts a lot of places I go, and I gotta have room in my bag for that stuff. So there you go. There's my 4.
Fantastic. We're definitely going to use those tips because we're going to go traveling this summer as well.
Nice.
Top 4, and this is I have to take my glasses off for this one because we all love this. Top 4 guilty pleasure desserts.
A good cheesecake for me. Ooh. And a good cheesecake could be a French style cheesecake. Look, I don't discriminate on cheesecake. Like, if it's cheesecake, now hopefully it's good. Like, I like a newer cheesecake. Yeah. Hopefully, right? Yeah, because you don't know. It's kind of like I love baked mac and cheese, but sometimes it looks really good and it's bland as hell.
You're right.
So cheesecake. So Chicago has one called Eli's Cheesecake. Okay. It's very creamy. They actually have a stand in like a kiosk in O'Hare Airport. I think it's at Terminal B, that you can go ahead and get one frozen.
Really?
I did not do it this last time because I just didn't bother. I was like, I could bring a cheesecake home, and I'm like, oh man, I knew I was gonna be home for 3 days, and it usually defrosts by the time you get home, so you're gonna have to like get at it and eat it. So if I was home all week, and my wife probably wouldn't have been happy with me. On one hand, she would have been like, "Ooh, thanks for the cheesecake." On the other hand, it's like, "Why did you leave me cheesecake? Because I'm gonna want to eat it, and I'm just tempting fate,
No.
Yeah, So I'm the one that brings in the bad food in the house, right? So a good cheesecake, yeah. I love a Cheesecake Factory cheesecake. Oh man, I get extra whipped cream on that bad boy. Ooh, yeah, it looks like just a giant chunk of whipped cream, but yeah, and I'll eat that in a couple of servings because I'm not so greedy. Let me eat half of it, and I got half for later. Yeah,
you're very generous to yourself.
Yes, indeed. And we talked about Portillo's earlier. A chocolate eclair cake is actually, it's not the hardest thing to make, but I will make this on holidays, usually around Thanksgiving. I'll make a chocolate eclair cake and just have it at home. And sometimes it looks kind of ugly, but I don't care what it looks like
because it tastes good.
Yeah, that's right. It goes down just well. I love a good donut.
Okay.
Yeah, I love a good donut, and I like not just a Dunkin' Donuts. Like I have yet to find. I should not say that. Like, I found kind of a cool little mom and pop like donut place. Not completely sold yet, but I love a good Bavarian cream. Sometimes they call it a Boston cream.
Yes.
And I mean, it's like a custard really, as opposed to like the cream filling that's white. Like, no, I'm talking about like a custard filled donut with chocolate on top. That is the way to go for me.
A nice flaky donut.
Oh, yes. And, that can tie into a good glazed as well, because I'll normally at least get to a good glaze. So there's a Stan's Donut in Chicago, and I think it's pretty famous different places, but there's a Stan's right where my friend lives, and Stan's is a staple as well. Like, I just had that last week. The 4th guilty pleasure, I'll just go with Chicago on this one, because nothing's exactly popping in my head. There's a place called the Bongo Room in Chicago. It's a breakfast place, and they have a caramel pretzel crusted pancake.
Caramel crusted pretzel pancake.
That's what they call it. So it's a pancake. I have a picture of it, and I'll send it to you. So if you have the editing skills, you can go bing, and it pops up. I will have a beautiful breakfast there because they have great stuff. Meal's awesome. And I don't want a stack of them. I will order one.
Okay.
And it's so pretty looking. It's white. It's white chocolate. White. It's a white chocolate, so it's white. It's they've got like the tic-tac-toe on there, and it's caramel. And it's very sweet, and it's just so yummy. Like, I just want to cry. It's so sweet.
So a feast for your your mouth and for your eyes.
Correctamundo. Good stuff.
Well, this has been an enlightening and delicious 4 for 4. Can you please tell us where we can find you and anything you're doing right now?
Aces of Steel on Instagram. I'm on Twitter as well, but I don't really go to Twitter. I actually just point that to my Instagram. Now and then I post stuff just because. I'm on Facebook at Ace Steel on Facebook. Again, I just kind of repost things on Facebook. Instagram is where I kind of hang out and see. So you'll see pictures of the doggies. You'll see pictures of the food, a lot of wrestling stuff, just wholesome, happy. I mean, I call it wholesome, happy stuff that makes me smile, you know, and try to make the rest of the world smile.
Fantastic. Come watch, go check out Ace Steel in his social medias, and please check out his top 4 desserts. They sound delicious. If you like what you see, come on back and we'll see you next time here. 4 for 4.